Young and Restless early spoilers November 24th to 28th. Billy and Nick's explosive fury unleashed. Young and the Restless spoilers for November 24th to 28th, 2025 suggest Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, and Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, are absolutely enraged. As we always do on early edition day, we talk about what's coming the rest of this week. Then we dive into what is ahead for next week. And next week, by the way, is the end of November sweeps. So we're going to have a huge big climax to sweeps. And part of that is the wedding. There's some other animosity going. Big drama. Young and the Restless spoilers. Kane caught snooping. All right. So on Wednesday, November 19th, we've got Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, trying to get into Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, computer while she's in the shower after they do the deed. But he can't figure out her password. And so he ends up giving up and just taking a shower with her instead. But by the way, Phyllis saw him doing it. She totally clocked it. Kane and Phyllis head downstairs at the GCAC for a nightcap, but they run into Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, who sees them coming downstairs and already has a good idea of what went on. So Lily starts grilling them and wants to know why Kane is in a good mood when his company is going down in flames. And he claims he's trying to be positive. Lily also wants to know why Kane and Phyllis seem so close. And she says that Lily is jealous. And then Phyllis is snarking that Lily doesn't like people to have fun, and she tells Phyllis to shut up. So Kane wants to see Lily in the morning just to chat, but she refuses. She realizes that Damien didn't hear her message. About just give me a little more time. The message that should have given him hope, that should have prevented him from getting in bed with Phyllis. So Lily takes off disgusted. Phyllis calls Kane out on Y&R. Phyllis and Kane talk over dessert at the coffee shop, and she's asking him about Lily. And Kane says that sleeping with Phyllis doesn't erase feelings for Lily. But Kane also reassures Phyllis that he really wants her. And she jokes about Kane wanting her password and says it's 94112124, but says she's going to change it soon. By the way, 94, the first two digits of her password, was the year that Phyllis first came to Genoa City. And 11:21-24 was this time last year when Phyllis woke up from her coma on Young and the Restless after being run off the road by crazy Jordan Howard, Colleen Zank. But Phyllis accused Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, of doing it when she did not. And this might be in Phyllis's mind some sort of turning point, some epiphany. So that sounds like what those numbers mean to me. Kane tells Phyllis he just wanted to peek at her computer to see if she stole his AI, and Phyllis understands and says she doesn't trust anybody but her kids, and then asks Kane if this was just a one-night thing. But they agree it is personal and it's more than that because he wants to be with Phyllis and it's definitely not business. Holden's romantic pursuits and Genoa City future on Young and the Restless. Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, gets some coffee and thinks about his night with Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, and then he's busy flirting with Esther Valentine, Kate Linder. Holden tells Esther he's looking for a place in Genoa City because he is staying. I wonder if he's going to wind up with the apartment over the coffee shop. It hasn't been booked in a while, and he was very specifically talking to Esther. So we'll see. Holden texts Claire to get together for drinks, and then takes off. Nikki Newman's Melody Thomas Scott, asking Claire about her love life while they're having tea. And Claire says that Jordan was telling her what to do. Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, was telling her what to do. And Claire doesn't like that and isn't ready to be in a serious relationship. She is having drinks with Holden later. And Claire tells Nikki that it's just a no-strings thing, but she likes the fact that he's a little bit of a bad boy, which Nikki understands. As she talks to Claire about Victor Newman, Eric Braden, being older and mentoring her and teaching her things. And then Claire teases Nikki about her very many marriages and husbands. Claire also says that Harrison Locks, Redding Munsell, been asking for a reunion. And Nikki says, you can see that kid anyway. You don't have to do that. And Claire mentions that Holden has some emotional baggage. There's some sort of messy but non-romantic thing in his past with Audra Charles, and that alarms Nikki. Lily and Audra's tense encounter with Holden on Y&R. After running into Phyllis and Damien and it being so brutal, Lily heads to the bar to drink and she runs into Holden. Lily asks if he's still working for Kane, and then she blames Kane for Damian Kane's, Jermaine Rivers' death, but Holden disagrees. Lily also tells Holden that Damian's company is going under, and he probably should move back to LA and get a job there. And he's shocked, but he kind of plays it off. Audra shows up and Lily tells Holden again, "Go back to LA because you're not going to have a job." Then she takes off. Holden tells Audra leave before Claire shows up and says she might get mad and spill the beans about Audra's crime. And she reminds Holden that it wasn't her crime, it was their crime. Audra says Holden didn't tell Claire the worst part of what they did together. Holden insists that he only told Claire something to do damage control, and so she'd Audra that they're both going to lose big if Claire finds out the whole truth. And then Claire comes in and sees Audra chatting with Holden and sipping from his drink, and it ticks her off. So she wants to know why that B won't stay out of her life, and then calls Billy to meet her because Claire says she's got some tea to spill on Audra. Thursday's spoilers, kidnapping, confrontations, and a new detective on Y&R. On Thursday, November 20th, Nick is looking for info from Detective Burrow, Matt Cohen, who Victor is having Michael Baldwin, Christian Jules LeBlanc, check out. And of course, Nick's trying to find Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, who's gone missing. Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, and Noah are locked up together. Sienna's panicking, trying to wake up Noah, who is badly beaten and unconscious. He and Sienna are locked up in a room, and Noah has no idea what happened or how they got there. Sharon pushes back on Matt Clark, Roger Howarth. He shows up at her hotel, and he triggers the fire alarm so that Sharon will open the door and he can push his way in and tries to give her a scare. But Sharon isn't scared. She's angry, and this kind of takes him by surprise. New LAPD cop Detective Annie Stewart, Catherine Kresge, debuts on Thursday, and I am wondering if she knows Dirty Detective Burrow, and she may interact with Nick soon. Danny and Christine's wedding day drama on Young and the Restless. Friday, November 21st, Danny Romolotti, Michael Damian, and Christine Williams's Laura Lee Bell wedding begins. It's a 2-day event on Young and the Restless. His son Daniel Romolotti, Michael Graziade, is doing an original song with Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, at the wedding, and Daniel, Michael Graziade, is bringing Tessa as his date. Instead of a wedding cake, look for donuts. Danny and Christine may be worried about Phyllis crashing, but she's got Kane in her bed and stars in her eyes. So, maybe she will stay away. There's a sneak peek photo I can't show you for copyright reasons, but it has Michael, Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, and Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, all glaring at somebody that looks like they interrupted. So, there may indeed be a crasher. And if there is, you know, Phyllis, Michelle Stafford, is the most likely. Also, expect Gina Roma, Patty Weaver, and Nina Webster, Trisha Cast, to come to Genoa City for the wedding. Lots of friends gather for the 2-day event Friday and Monday, including Abby Newman, Melissa Ordway, and Devin Hamilton, Brighton James, Michael and Lauren Fenmore, Tracy Bregman, Nate and Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, Tracy Abbott, Beth Maitland, Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, and Diane. Plus, it looks like Michael officiates the wedding. Thanksgiving week spoilers. Holiday Shake UPS and preemptions on Y&R. The week of November 24th through the 28th is a short holiday week of episodes. It begins with more of Danny and Christine's wedding. On Monday the 24th, they are starting their happily ever after in style. Phyllis, Michelle Stafford, and Damian, Jermaine Rivers, get in deeper, and it's definitely more than sex, but a lot less than love. Crystal Khalil is out on maternity leave soon, which means Lily's Crystal Khalil leaving town, and I'm sure them getting involved is part of the reason why she goes. Kyle isn't ready to give up on Claire yet. I'm sure he wants her around for Thanksgiving, but if she's smart, she'll stick to the Newmans or hang out with Holden, who doesn't have any family in town. Jack warned Nikki about Victor using the AI for dirty deeds, and Nikki ignored him. Jack said she's complicit if Victor comes after Jabot. We'll see how that goes. Adam and Victor target Billy on Young and the Restless. Adam Newman's Mark Grossman, trying to keep Victor distracted now that they know Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, is the investor in Abbott.com. So, Victor and Adam are going to make a move to get the funding snatched from Jill. And of course, that means Billy will lose it. Sally Spectra's Courtney Hope going to be devastated if Adam succeeds. Plus, Sienna and Noah remain captive, and Sharon may join them with Nick increasingly angry and worried. And again, we have preemptions for U.S. sports. On Thursday, Thanksgiving Day and the day after for Black Friday, September 27th and 28th, no new episodes, which is typical. And if any happen to record, double check them, make sure they're not new. Then delete them. Get them off your DVR so they don't mess up your recordings for the beginning of December.